style, which is not the Magnum or whatever, but you can take your whole fist and put it up in it. Now, if you got somebody that's mega sized, that's bigger than my whole fist, and can go up in there, then so why do you need the Magnum if it will actually contain that one?
I ain't gonna.
That's right. It is School of Hip Hop on 95.7 Jams. That was Juvie. We have superstars in the School of Hip Hop. As I said, you're going to be hearing new things, so get ready for something new. We are talking about HIV, STDs, all of that type thing that can affect our people that we need to be more educated about. That's one thing that I know we definitely need to be educated on. The usage of condoms and how to prevent these things. First things first, before the STDs, you have pregnancy. And it seems that in the summer, boy, everybody's pregnant. And it starts at like 10, it appears. So first of all, we're not talking about that so much, but these are the things that the products that they give us can help with. They can alleviate these things. So if we think about that and we actually take advantage of the products and the services offered by the Department of Health, we would be a better society, I think. Courtney?
I think another thing we need to do is, we need to be more selective about our partners and being more open about who you're dealing with at the same time. Condoms are great and everything like that, but also knowing who you're sleeping with makes a difference too.
Yeah.
Or knowing who your children are sleeping with.
Yes.
I think parents need to be more mindful of who their children are hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
Because my child ain't gonna be with no 20-year-old when she's 16.
Listen to this though. How about when you deal with somebody and, like I said, you think you know them, or you know them a little bit, maybe they hadn't had sex for 2 or 3 years, and because they hadn't had sex in 2 or 3 years, you kind of feel comfortable with them, okay? Ladies, I'm going to get at the scientific part of this. All of a sudden, something comes up. Somebody's either itching or has a rash or burning or just not feeling right. What happens? This person they hadn't had sex in this amount of time, but the other person has been tested just recently, say within the past 2 days or 3 days or 2 months or so. What can happen? How long can a disease be there and you not know about it?
STD can stay dormant. It depends on it. It can stay what we call dormant for a while, like herpes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about herpes.
Please do.
Herpes is one of the STDs that is actually one of the most prevalent ones. That's a virus, and it can stay dormant for years. And what happens is something happens and you have an outbreak for whatever reason. Some kind of stressor comes on the body and you have an outbreak. You could be shedding it and you don't even know you're shedding it and giving to somebody, because herpes is one of those that you shed, you have no idea when you're shedding or giving this virus to somebody else.
Wow.
So it can be weeks, it can be months, it can be years.
Stephen N. Black.
I had a friend, I'm going to call his name, had a trick.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave it to his girlfriend who was a virgin. And he literally was not having sex with anybody for at least a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And they told him that, he wasn't burning, he wasn't itching. He absolutely had no symptoms. But he gave it to his girlfriend who was a virgin, first time having sex, and she was very, very, very pissed.
I'll bring you in on that real quick, Stephen. I've been studying on a little bit of that, and actually Trick lives in the male. Men carry Trick.
Is that true?
Recently learned
true.
That.
She's going to school for
school.
nursing.
Okay, so Trick does live in men, so like she said, it could possibly just be lying there dormant and something can trigger that, that disease or whatever. But then I want to go into what you were saying, how everybody's saying, you have to know who you're having sex with, know who you're having sex with. A lot of women are married to their husbands and they contract these diseases. Married women, I know at least 4 married women who have gotten things from their husbands.
Right. So
you can't just say, well, I have to know them. It's almost like you need to go to the doctor together and look at each other's results.
Or just go every other week or so. How often do you all know any of the people that come all the time? Do people come in there all the time?
You have some people that every time they have sex, they come in.
Oh, no.
So, you got people that do that. They just want to be sure.
That's good.
Better safe than sorry.
So, a lot of people, we have discussed on the show also about the scheduling issue. They say to call in before 7. Is that what you have to do for the STD part of the health department?
No, you don't have to make appointments.
You can just
to
walk in
the STD clinic. No, we accept all walk-ins for that. They don't. I don't even think they take appointments at all.
They
really?
don't.
No, you
don't
just
take
walk in.
You just walk in.
So y'all hear that now? We had this discussion. I think that was about like family planning and What else do y'all offer? Wig and stuff like that. You would have to make an appointment.
Adult health, pediatrics,
Okay, for
dental,
appointments.
for appointments, but not STD.
If you just riding down one day and you feel like, look, I need to go see what's popping. I need to just go take care of myself. I'm going to go do it now. You can do it then. What are your hours?
7:45. I think they take the last patient about 3:30.
Okay.
3:45.
We're in the Fast 15 right here in the School of Hip Hop, meaning you got 15 more minutes of time to chop it up as we get into more and more details and helping you understand about these STDs and what they can do to you. That's what I want to talk about, what they can do to you. A lot of people say, well, okay, that's curable. I'm good. I had trichomonas. Oh, that's good. Took some penicillin. I'm good. Oh, my grandma got some penicillin. I took that. My little girl got some antibiotics. I drank that up, so I'm good.
Good.
Why would you think that, Courtney?
No, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, we had a quick discussion earlier, and I think one of the problems nowadays is the attitude has changed. Like, I remember when I was in high school, you know, everything was like, okay, if you get this, you're going to die. You know what I mean? So, but you got like Magic Johnson. He got more movie theaters after he announced he had it. So people looking like, okay, I'm going to get that and get movie theaters. And I just think the attitude has changed about, you know, the severity of getting these diseases and contracting these viruses.
It has. Actually, Magic Johnson is one of those people that has money. And that's what people have to look at. If I have millions, yes, I can afford to live a long life. I can afford to live the right kind of life, take my medicines every 4 hours or whatever he had to initially start doing, because he had all that money. He could eat the right kinds of food. He could rest like he was supposed to, so he could take care of himself like he needed to.
Somebody also said, from a doctor I heard this, that he possibly was one of those people that had false test results, and they used him as what would you call that, a poster child?
Just an example.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, they would come back with he didn't have it. I don't think he was misdiagnosed. I think he really does have it.
I could almost believe what Wu just said, simply because, okay, they tested his wife and Cookie don't have it, but they've been married for years. So how is that possible?
It can happen. I mean, you can actually have sex or with someone that's HIV positive, but it's like shooting, playing Russian roulette. You just never know when you might contract it. So it's just not worth. I mean, it's not worth putting your life at risk.
Yeah, because it's also true that could you be pregnant with a child and that child cannot come out with
and
it?
That child can be born without
the virus.
Being HIV. Yes, that's right. So you just never know.
All right. So STDs do not take the summer off. Ladies, we want you to give all the information right now that are your main points for the summer. Your main points, period. What are the main things that the Jefferson County Department of Health focuses on?
As far as
sexual health.
Well, we do have the STD clinic, which is only at the 6th Avenue site, 1400 6th Avenue. That's in the disease control department, and what they do, they have is kind of like a twofold kind of department. They're in-house, where they treat patients that come in-house, that come into the department to be treated, but they also go out into the community, into the field, to look for those partners that have been named by persons that have come into the health department to be treated. So we have disease intervention specialists that work daily to go out into the community to track those persons that have been named, so that they can combat some of these diseases that are being spread.
Okay.
And let me talk about family planning. We have a wonderful family planning department that all females as well as males need to go in and get checked. It's like a physical, but when you go into the family planning, we check you for STDs also. And if we find anything, nurse practitioners do the exact same thing. If we find anything, you're also treated then. So make an appointment. If you are sexually active, you need to have a physical done.
Say this, what about people that don't have insurance, or they had it, they have a physician, and they just need to make the transition? You know how things happen with insurance right now in healthcare. What do you all require, that they bring any records from their other doctors, or they just come as they are?
They can come as they are. We will see them, but you need to call and make an appointment. I can't stress that. Now, family planning, you have to make an appointment. STD clinic, you can just be a walk-in.
Okay.
And if you want to transfer because you've lost your job or you don't have insurance or whatever, we will send for your records. So that's not a problem.